Chapter 1: Arrival in Melbourne. Amelia Enfield stood in the paddock of the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit, the sun beating down on her as she watched the Formula One cars roar past in a blur of speed and sound. The Australian Grand Prix marked the beginning of a new season, and the excitement in the air was palpable as teams and drivers prepared to do battle on the iconic track. For Amelia, the start of the season brought with it a mixture of nerves and anticipation. As Luca Rossi's partner, she had become accustomed to the highs and lows of life in the fast lane, but the thrill of a new racing season never failed to send a shiver of excitement down her spine. As Luca's car streaked past, its vibrant livery standing out against the backdrop of the Melbourne skyline, Amelia couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. P4 was a solid result for the third race of the season, and she knew that Luca would be pleased with his performance. As the race drew to a close and the cars began to file into the pit lane, Amelia made her way to the edge of the paddock to greet Luca as he emerged from his car. His face was flushed with exertion, but his eyes shone with the unmistakable thrill of competition. "Hey, you did great out there," Amelia said, smiling as she wrapped her arms around him in a congratulatory hug. Luca grinned, his breath coming in short gasps as he caught his breath. "Thanks, love," he replied, planting a kiss on her forehead. "It was a tough race, but we managed to come out on top." As they made their way back to the team garage, Luca's teammates greeted him with cheers and high fives, congratulating him on a job well done. For Amelia, the sense of camaraderie in the paddock was one of the things she loved most about life in the racing world. Despite the fierce competition on the track, there was a sense of solidarity among the drivers and teams that transcended rivalries and egos. With the race behind them, Luca and Amelia looked forward to celebrating their success with a quiet dinner and a movie at their hotel. It was a tradition they had started early in their relationship, a chance to unwind and reconnect after the adrenaline-fueled excitement of race day. As they made their way back to the hotel, hand in hand, the anticipation of the evening ahead filled them with a sense of warmth and contentment. For in the racing hearts of Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield, there was no greater joy than sharing their triumphs and successes with the one they loved. Chapter 2: Dinner and a Movie. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the lights of Melbourne came to life, Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield found themselves seated at a cozy table in the hotel restaurant, the soft glow of candlelight casting a warm ambience over the room. The Australian Grand Prix had been a success, and they had much to celebrate. P4 was a solid result for the third race of the season, and Luca was in high spirits as he regaled Amelia with tales of his on-track battles and triumphs. Amelia listened with rapt attention, her heart swelling with pride at Luca's accomplishments. Despite the challenges they had faced along the way, he had never lost sight of his goals, his determination and perseverance shining through in every aspect of his racing. As they savored their meal, exchanging laughter and conversation, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at the bond they shared. Luca was more than just her partner, he was her best friend, her confidant, and her greatest source of strength and support. After dinner, they made their way to the hotel's private screening room, where a selection of classic films awaited them. It was a tradition they had started early in their relationship, a chance to escape the pressures of the racing world and lose themselves in the magic of cinema. As they settled into their seats, Luca wrapped an arm around Amelia's shoulders, pulling her close as the opening credits rolled. It was a simple gesture, but it spoke volumes about the depth of their connection, the unspoken bond that bound them together through the highs and lows of life on and off the track. For the next 2 hours, they lost themselves in the world of the film, sharing quiet moments of laughter and tenderness as they immersed themselves in the story unfolding on screen. And as the credits rolled and the lights came up, they emerged from the screening room with a renewed sense of closeness and intimacy. As they made their way back to their hotel room, hand in hand, the warmth of the evening wrapped around them like a comforting embrace. For in the racing hearts of Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield, there was no greater joy than sharing their triumphs and successes with the one they loved. Chapter 3: Reflections on Victory. As Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield settled into bed, the events of the day replayed in their minds like scenes from a movie. The Australian Grand Prix had been a success, and they had much to be proud of as they reflected on Luca's performance on the track. For Amelia, the thrill of seeing Luca cross the finish line in P4 was a moment she would never forget. The roar of the crowd, the adrenaline coursing through her veins, and the overwhelming sense of pride that filled her heart as she watched her partner chase his dreams with unwavering determination. But amidst the excitement and celebration, there was a sense of quiet satisfaction that lingered in the air. For Luca, the Australian Grand Prix had been more than just a race. It had been a chance to prove himself on the world stage, to show the world that he was a force to be reckoned with in the competitive world of Formula One. As they lay together in the darkness, their fingers intertwined and their hearts racing with excitement, Luca turned to Amelia with a smile. "Thank you," he said, his voice soft with emotion, "for always being there for me, no matter what." Amelia smiled, her heart overflowing with love for the man lying beside her. "I wouldn't have it any other way," she replied, her voice filled with warmth and affection. "You're my world, Luca. And I'll always be here to support you, no matter where life takes us." With those words, they drifted off to sleep, their dreams filled with visions of victory and triumph on the track. For in the racing hearts of Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield, there was no greater joy than sharing their love and passion for the sport they both held dear. And as they embarked on the next leg of their journey together, they knew that whatever challenges may lie ahead, they would face them with courage, determination, and the unwavering support of the one they loved. Epilogue: A New Beginning. As the sun rose over Melbourne, Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield found themselves standing on the balcony of their hotel room, watching as the city came to life below. The Australian Grand Prix had been a success, and they had much to look forward to as they continued their journey together. With the memories of victory still fresh in their minds, they knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges and obstacles. But as they stood together, hand in hand, they were filled with a sense of hope and optimism for the future. For in the racing hearts of Luca Rossi and Amelia Enfield, there was no greater joy than facing the unknown together, hand in hand, ready to take on what is next to come.